Hi everyone. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for taking your time off to join me today. My name is Alvin, and I'm here today to talk about SEO, right? Um, so thanks Riff for that nice introduction. Okay, so for those of you attending today, um, rest assured, I take your time seriously. If you just stay with me for this like 1.5 hours, by the end of today's free session itself, okay, you will have a good idea of SEO, what SEO is all about really. We are going to take a look at it from a very top-down level. Okay, that means I'm going to show you everything. Okay, but of course, we are not going into the systems, and that's obviously if you join my course, then, we really get into each individual system, right? Okay, but for those of you here today, I would like to make this session more informal and also more interactive. Um, Sometimes if you feel like typing questions in the chat, like as I explain something, right, and you have a question, don't keep it, just put it in the chat first. At the end, I will answer all your questions, right, to my best ability. Okay. And first of all, I would like to ask everyone here, let's start something on the chat. Okay, from time to time, I'll check the chat. All right, from time to time. Okay, but my first question to everyone here today right now is, if you have some idea of SEO, like if you know generally even a little bit about SEO, please type 1. If you don't know anything, like you are here fresh, okay, you have no idea even what SEO even means, or it's very blurred to you, please type 0 in the chat. I just want to see, like, generally just a sort of survey, right? What is the understanding of SEO out there? Okay, so it would also help my own survey knowledge. Please type 1 if you have an idea about SEO, and type 0 if you have totally no idea. Okay, so I want to start our session by talking a little bit more about myself. I know my friend Riv, he just introduced me, but I feel like I need to engage, so that you guys understand what is my motivation, why am I here, why should you even trust me, why listen to me, right? So let's begin. Let's jump right into it. Okay, the first thing that I would like you guys and you guys and girls, when I say guys, I mean guys and girls, right? One of the things I would like all of you to know is that I enjoy teaching. I really do enjoy teaching. It's one of my passions in life. Okay, and I think one of the reasons why is my dad is an English teacher. My mom is a kindergarten teacher. So I actually grew up in this environment where I actually helped my mom in the kindergarten from a young age, helping her teach. She teach technology subject as well, computers, Microsoft Word to kids. Okay, so I was exposed at a young age to teaching. It's still a driving passion of mine. Okay, so I previously worked with Cosmo Point College, Sergi, and Future Kids as well. Future Kids is something like Kumon Center. They deal mostly with children. Okay, and unfortunately, I cannot speak Chinese, because my dad is a Dutch, my mom is a Chinese from Penang. My mom speaks all the languages. She knows Hokkien, Mandarin, Cantonese. She speaks English. She's super multilingual. Me is just Malay and English, and I sort of followed my dad. So for me, it's just Malay and English. My Malay is pretty good, so that's why I could actually teach in UM, because in order to teach in government, you have to teach in Malay. You cannot teach in other languages. So I was highly engaged with government institutions of teaching. Okay, and also I did training for DBKL. I was the one that trained DBKL webmasters in CSS and HTML. So it's because of my Malay language and only English, unfortunately, right? So I hope even those of you may be struggling to understand, but I hope that I can, we can share something out today. Okay, all right. So I quit formal academic system okay, to pursue my own methods of teaching. This was many years ago, more than 10 years ago. Okay, I decided to quit, working in a I would say college, right, classroom setting. Okay, and I went off and did my own thing. So one of the things I enjoy, teaching, right? What I'm trying to explain here is what motivates me, what drives me forward, who am I really, what makes me, right? I enjoy teaching. Number two, okay, I hugely enjoy technology subjects like these. Okay, these are some of the things that I am hugely, how to say, into. Okay, game development, graphic design, network security, UIX, SEO, SEM, web development. Okay, so you can see that across the board, I'm really more a software guy. This is not hardware, right? There's the hardware side of it, like servers and all that, and chips. And okay, I'm not so much a hardware tech guy, but I'm more into software, right? And SEO is about software. SEO is search engine optimization. It's about how Google ranks your websites. Okay, on the search engine, we'll talk more about that very soon. Okay, but understand that SEO is nothing but a bunch of codes. It's algorithms. It's algorithms or codes that is meant to detect certain things, okay, about your activity, about your website. It looks for certain things, specific things. And if you fulfill those things, you can get first page ranking. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, first page ranking, I think, I think you really need to understand the implications of first page ranking. It's really so important for many businesses, not for every business, but for many businesses out there, first page ranking, okay? Now let's talk about the story of Sigma and how important my first page was to me. It's basically my life. If I lose my first page ranking, the next day, my rice bowl will be gone. I'm totally dependent on my Google search ranking. Okay, so when I left the academic world many years ago, more than 15 years ago, okay, I started Sigma 2008. Okay, I named it Sigma. This is the website, okay, that I created. And just to show you guys what I mean by first page ranking, okay, if you, anyone can do this. If you go to Google and you type in, these are some of the words that I'm ranking high for, okay, something like this. I'll just copy and paste so it's easier, right? Web design courses PJ, right? And if you search this, okay, you'll notice that I'm right at the top. This one. This is my website here. Oops. Okay, maybe I'll change the color. Okay, this is my website, Sigma Studio. So I'm given a sort of a VIP spot here. This is like a VIP spot. It's only here if you fulfill certain requirements, okay, by Google. I'll be talking about this very soon as well. In today's session, I'll be even talking about this, okay? And people can even check my map here. If they zoom in, you see I'm one of these red things here, right? If you're listed here, okay? But if you scroll down, if you scroll further down, I'm right here at the top. Okay, Sigma courses, you can see that's the URL there, right? So I am enjoying a double entry, right? That's amazing, right? I'm enjoying a double entry. Up here, I'm given this, and down here, I'm given this. And this is not paid ads. This is basically free. I'm here for free. It's what we call organic. Okay, organic is the opposite of paid ads. Paid ads is when, for example, if let's say I search something like web design services, okay, you might see these ads up here. Okay, ad. They paid to be there, right? They have to spend money. In my case, I'm getting it absolutely free, okay, year to year. So that is just one keyword that I showed you here, web design courses PJ. You see, what if a person types KL, right? What if someone types web design courses KL? Okay, again, I should be at the top here there, right? Notice this here, Sigma courses. Okay, first page. First page is where it's at. We are not even considering second page, third page. That is out of the consideration. Okay, second page is simply a stepping stone to first page. You know, we never stop at second page, right? We want first page because how many of you guys stop at first page? Most of us. If the first page results are good enough and we are happy with what we find on first page, everyone stops at the first page, right? So this is where the money is at. Okay, now that was keyword number 2. Okay, because web design courses PJ, web design courses KL, and even if they type Malaysia, I'm at the top. But what if someone types the word training, right? Because not everyone will use the word courses. You know, some people might use the word web design training. Let's try that. Okay, so basically, I can show you even how to sort of grab multiple keywords that you see right here. I'm right at the top again. Okay, I'm given this nice spot up there. And if you scroll down, okay, and right at the top, okay. And people know, I think most of, people who search on the web, they know that organic is it is better than paid ads because the company paid to be there, right? They paid to be at the top, whereas the organic ones, they are there based on the strength of many things that Google look for, based on the strength of their SEO, which I'll be discussing with you in a moment. Right now, I'm still qualifying myself. Right now, I'm telling you why you should trust me. I'm not even talking about SEO yet. I'm sort of trying to qualify myself to you guys right now, okay? So this is where my website's at, is at first page for many of these keywords. Okay, and if you're wondering, wow, why is it web design courses PJ? Why not just, what if I just type web design? Okay, well, that would be incorrect targeting for me. Okay, that would not be the targeting that I want because web design is so general. If I targeted web design, I'm going to get all kinds of traffic that is not related to my business. My business, I'm in the business of courses, I do training, I do courses, I do SEO, okay? So for example, someone might type web design just to learn it for free online, right? They're not looking for a training place, so to speak. But what if someone types web design courses PJ? Isn't this targeted? Isn't this what I want? Think about it. Who will type this, right? Who are the only demographic target market that will type this particular sentence? Web design courses PJ. There is only 2 possibilities, okay? People who are really looking for a course to attend somewhere in PJ, or competition, right? Competition who just wants to see who is the top ranking and they are looking to increase their SEO. So it's either competitors or your target demographic customers, okay? So that is what we're also going to talk about in our course. If you join my course, I'll talk all about keyword targeting. There's so much more to it than just that, you know. So, so this is really gold for me, guys. You have to understand, guys and girls. Again, when I say guys, it's sort of a catch-all phrase, okay? So, not only that, okay, I'd like to share with you, these are just the ones I'm using to copy and paste easily. But if you try, let's go back to the screen here, okay? So if you try any of these keywords, this is a more complete list. Okay, I know it's a bit hard to see. I'll sort of zoom in. Okay, but this is a more complete list of all the keywords that my site is ranking for. Okay, the total, and and this is not even the 100% complete list. This is just what I just quickly took at. You know, there's more than this. All right, I'm also highly ranking for things like short courses KL, short courses PJ, graphic design, okay, SEO, web design. All right. Chances are, let me put it this way, chances are, if anyone is actually looking for either graphic design courses, SEO courses, or web design courses, they're probably going to come across, you know, my business online. They'll probably see or come across because I'm right up there with all the top companies, right? I'm right up there. Okay, and I'm not a very big outfit. Don't misunderstand. It's just me and two other person. It's three of us. Me and two good friends. Riff, which you have met earlier, our MC, right? And another person who is his name is Jared. He's more of a back end, right? Takes care of everything else. So it's the three of us. We run a very small outfit, and yet we are up here with all the top dogs, okay, with companies that have 150 employers, 100 employees, sorry, okay. But please understand, actually, I'm quite a small outfit, right? So on top of that, okay, I am also, I've also helped first page ranking for a lot of companies and friends and family. Okay, my wife was a makeup artist, and her website pixie.com back in the days was first ranking, top ranking. All right, this is actually my wife's website. Okay, it's no longer available because now she's just enjoying life at home. You know, so this was top ranking for a long time. She was one of the, you know, like if you're looking for a makeup artist in KL or PJ, you'll run across it. You will come across Pixie. Okay. Car warranty for GMR. This one earlier, Riff was talking about briefly. This is about car warranty. This is actually one of my cousins, one of my relatives, right? So you see that actually my SEO started out with friends and family first. You know, I wanted to help because it's like gold. I found that, you know, why not more people are doing this? Why not, right? Maybe, you know, of course, there's the technical knowledge to it, right? There's things like that. But I can honestly tell you guys that this SEO, all right, these keywords have been sustaining my business, has been sustaining my livelihood for more than 10 years. If the next day, touch wood, if the next day something happens and I lose my ranking, I'm no longer in the top page, suddenly everything will change, you know, because I'm not engaging in any other kind of marketing. I don't do newspapers. I don't do, you know, any other kind of tradition. It's only search engine. And I have been able to live off this, right? That's how good it is, you know, like imagine, okay, if you open any kind of business, you want to do a side hustle, right? You want to sell cookies, you want to sell something, you want to sell craft tangan, whatever, okay. You launch a website, you have your product or you have your services. You can even do copywriting. You can just be a copywriter. You can be a data entry. Launch your website, get it to first page, all right? Not second, not third, first page. Win liao. So what I can tell you guys, win liao, okay? Because why? Because no matter what, you will get leads, okay? If you're on the first page, let's talk about leads, okay? If you're on the first page, okay, SEO, right? Ranking organically, you're not paying anything to Google. This is not about ads. This is about you fulfilling the requirements of the Google search engine, getting your page to first top of the page, okay? So when you're on the first page, guaranteed, okay, leads. This is the keyword here. Okay, so important. What are leads? Leads are potential customers. They are not yet customers. You need to convert them into a customer. That will be your conversion rate. How success is your conversion rate depends on many, many things. Okay, but first and foremost, you see, if you don't have leads, you can't convert anything, right? If you don't have leads, you need leads, okay? And first page Google guarantees leads every month without fail, as long as you have good traffic, okay? I think I need to make a disclaimer. The disclaimer is, as long as your keyword have good enough traffic. If your keyword has no traffic, of course, there's very low leads. Okay, let's say this keyword is so obscure, so niche that no one is looking for this, then you have a problem. But let's not talk about that. If you have a keyword with moderate to good online traffic, that means every month there's a number of people searching for this, okay, and you are on the first page, you are guaranteed leads. Okay, this is gold, you know, some of you may wonder, or if you guys actually, let's take a quick look at the survey. I'm wondering how many. Okay, so wow, a lot have a good idea. 1 1 1 1 1 2 0. Okay, so everyone here has a good idea of have some idea of SEO. I'm happy for that. Okay, so at least you know what I'll be talking about. Okay, so basically, if you're on the first page, you will get the leads, right? Is what I'm saying. Okay, so I think I have qualified myself. Right, this is some, you know, this is the first time that I'm sharing SEO to a larger audience. You have to understand that my business, Sigma, okay, one of the motivation why I left academic training is because I didn't like, to be honest, I didn't like large classroom training, you know, because I wanted every student to succeed. So in a university environment, I would go into the classroom and there'll be so many people, half of them will be talking, they won't be paying attention. You know, I mean, it's like that. It's just like that, but I couldn't accept it. So that's why I left. And Sigma is a one-to-one training center. You know, there's no classroom. Sigma is really one-to-one coaching, you know, so everyone, you really, of course, my price is higher, you know, but it's really a one-to-one. And I've been doing this for 15 years, many years. Okay. And today is the first time actually I'm, you know, hooking up with this company and helping to spread SEO on a larger scale, right? To get the understanding out there. I think it's misunderstood. I think SEO is largely misunderstood. Okay. All right. So that's all about myself. I think enough about that. Let's jump into the real thing today, what I'm really here for. Okay. Let's define SEO. Now, SEO, and some of you may be familiar with this term, this very closely related term called SEM. Search engine marketing is actually an umbrella term, okay, because marketing is obviously a bigger terminology and it involves many other aspects, okay, in basically online marketing. You could also just say online marketing in a loose term, or search engine marketing, right? So understand that SEO is actually a branch under this umbrella term because search engine optimization specifically deals with search engine. It's nothing except search engine. It doesn't involve, you know, social media, although it is linked. There is a link, which, you know, we will talk about. There is a link, okay? But it's a topic on its own. Social media management, that's a, you know, a topic under marketing, okay? UIX is very interesting. Now, you may be wondering, since this course is SEO, are we only going to learn this? No. I'm glad to tell you guys that if you join my course, I'll be talking about everything. Okay, I'll show you what I've learned over the years in terms of social media management, in terms of UIX, AdWords, PPC, right? AdWords, this is the ads. PPC means pay per click, right? You pay for every click. You're paying for the ads, okay? That's not exactly SEO. SEO is the organic, okay? This is the organic part. Remember, organic means you're there for free, right? Organically, Google is placing you first page, okay? So I will be talking about all of this in my course. UIX is especially nice to talk about because it's about user interface experience, right? How hard is that to quantify sometimes? What is the experience when a user visits your website? What is the experience when a user uses your app? How do we even define that in scientific terms? This is why UIX is not 100% science. It's 30% science, 30% human psychology, and 30% art, something like that, right? It's a combination. It's not all science, okay? Because I've come to realize that with UI/UX, something that you think is common sense, something that you think that should make common sense, but when you put it in action, actually is totally inverted to what is totally opposite of what you thought, So things like that we'll be also discussing, we'll be talking about UI/UX in our classes. Okay, how do we design user interface that is friendly, effective? Okay, so, but today, let's focus on this, right? Let's focus on search engine optimization, or SEO. Okay, so SEO is basically made up of two parts. You've got your on-page optimization and off-page optimization. So on-page are things that you can directly apply on the website. Okay, that is about the coding, that is about the tagging, that is about all the things directly on the website. Off-page, on the other hand, okay, is things beyond the control of the website. Okay, it's the hosting server sometimes has an effect on SEO. The server itself, this is off page, right? It's not on the page. On the page is on the site itself. Okay, we're talking about server issues. We're talking about SSL certificates. We're talking about security, things like that. Does have an effect on SEO. Backlinking, right? Backlinking is a huge topic by itself. Backlinking is off page. Okay, so let's talk about some terminologies. Okay, let's get some basic terminologies out of the way first. So you might be familiar with these terms, right? Websites, okay, landing pages, microsites, and the strategies used can be quite different. That's the thing, you see. I cannot say that SEO is for everything and everybody. You really have to see the kind of site that you own. Okay, so SEO is the best option for organic, and organic is basically SEO is for websites. Okay, because websites are there to stay, right? They are permanent. It's basically an online reflection of your company. It's your online presence of your brand, right? So it makes it worthwhile to build, okay, your organic ranking for a website, okay? But not so much for this too, not so much, okay? Organic is harder. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's much harder for landing pages. So what are the difference between website and landing pages? Let's talk about this first, right? So landing pages is basically a website, but with only one or two pages. That's the main difference, okay? What's the difference between landing page and website? It's just a website with one or two pages. That's all. Don't overcomplicate it, It's, you can say, a very lightweight version of a website. A website should have more than 10, 20, 30 pages. Eventually, you should have, hundreds of pages if you can, okay? Because a website, blogging, right? Every time you add an article, things like that, eventually it should hit above 50 pages, at the minimum above 50. Landing pages, no. Landing pages are very lightweight, okay? And because they are so lightweight, they are very thin when it comes to content. It's hard to, if you're going to put in a lot of content, you might as well convert it to a website, right? Don't make it a landing page, make it a full website. Okay, so organic is much harder. SEO is much harder in this sense because of the limitations of landing pages. Okay, so basically for landing pages, because SEO may not be worth it, keep in mind, SEO is a lot of hard work. You got to put in a lot, you got to calculate the keyword density, you got to update, you got to do all kinds of things. And sometimes you want to do it only if it's worth it, right? Only if it's worth it for, okay, a long-term website. So that's why landing pages are mostly ad driven. That means you pay for the ads to drive the traffic there, because you want short-term, you want fast, quick, short-term results. The minute you pay for the ad, if you pay for an ad today, tomorrow your site is on first page. It's immediate, So Landing pages and microsites are more to ad driven, or with what we call directed traffic. Okay, SEO doesn't make sense here. Now, microsite is an even more extreme version of a landing page. It's basically a 1 or 2 page site that is not permanent. It's going to be taken down. It's only there for a few months, even a few weeks. Okay, so examples of microsites are things like product launches. Okay, let's say a company, have a new product and they want to blast out something nice. They can create a microsite, right, with just the product name.com. Okay, and it's there for the launch. But once it's over, then it's probably taken down after a few months. Another example is for events, right? If you have an event that's happening over this weekend, it doesn't make sense that the site is going to remain after the event is over. So it's meant to be temporary. That's a microsite. Okay, so I hope that the definition here is clear. Okay, website, landing page, and microsite. So you guys can see why microsite, I don't even bother to put organic here. It's absolutely no point to to work on SEO organic ranking for a microsite. A microsite is entirely ad driven. Okay, directed traffic. Directed traffic simply means that you yourself are responsible for directing the traffic there. Okay, whether by social media, you post a link on your social media, or you blast out on WhatsApp, or even it can even come down to very traditional means like handing out flyers, things like that even, right? That's all under directed traffic. You have to direct the traffic. No one is going to find you by accident. Okay. With SEO, every month you get people finding you, right? Not by accident, because they are typing in the keyword that you target. Okay. So just a nice thing to know. Now that we've got this aside, okay, let's focus more on SERP. Let's talk about SERP. Search engine result page. Okay, if you guys ever come across this term now, you know what it means. It's a very basic term. Maybe it just sounds very advanced, but all it means is the result of a search. Okay, so let's dissect what a search SERP looks like, right? I'm sure all of you are already familiar with this. Okay, but let's get the technical details down. First of all, the first thing you must know is that the total number of ads on a given page is 7. I believe it's still 7 today. You get 4 at the top. Okay, you get 4 at the top. And if you go all the way to the bottom, I didn't bother taking the full screenshot here. I cut it halfway. I cut this halfway. But if you go all the way to the bottom, you will see another 3 ads at the bottom. Okay, so paid ads are given topmost and bottommost. 4 at the top, 3 at the bottom. After the paid ads, we come across this really nice thing over here. Okay, and this is given to businesses who have signed up for this thing called Google My Business. If you are not on Google My Business, you are not eligible to actually show up here. Okay, and let's talk about that for a while. Formerly, it's known as Google My Business. This is the old name. They have recently changed the name into this one. Okay, now it's called Google Business Profile. It's just a new terminology, right? If you're interested, go and Google this up, especially if you have a business and you want to get it into this nice thing over here. You have to sign up for this. Okay, here's a screenshot. Okay, you just search Google My Business. Okay, you will see the link. It'll be the top link, right? You sign in here. This is the screenshot of the page. Okay, and when you sign in, this is what the login looks like, right? The admin backend. Okay, so this is the new name here, Google Business Profile Manager. Okay, and you can do all sorts of things here. You have to register your information. That's how they know the Google Map location of your business. It's actually tied to this backend admin panel here. Okay, whatever the address you key in here, all right, will be the address that is shown over here. Okay, you see this map, right? Depends on the address that you key in at the back there. Okay, so if I zoom into what you see, there's this 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Each one is pertaining to each of this, and I can zoom in, okay, and you know, see their business location and things like that, right? This map is interactive. Okay. The best way that I can explain this, okay, I believe that the most appropriate term for this is that it's basically Google's Yellow Pages. Okay, yeah, it's basically Google's version of Yellow Pages where they are trying to documentize or put into one huge worldwide database all businesses around the world is right what they're trying to do here, you know, and there's a lot of advantages to do that, right? You get this nice search engine spot. Okay, it doesn't mean that you are guaranteed the spot. It doesn't mean that. Okay, it means you have a chance. And if you're wondering, well, oh, how does Google pick, right? I mean, out of the thousands, how do they only pick down to this particular tree? Okay, so the way that they pick is by, first of all, you have to understand that this search engine, that this SERP is the result of this particular keyword, right? It's all about this keyword, okay? Make no mistake. This keyword is resulting in that, in this three companies appearing here, okay? So you have to make sure that that keyword that the person you think is going to key in, who are your potential customers that you're trying to find, okay, that keyword must appear in all here, okay, everywhere. Like you have to sprinkle it, like, okay, put it in your post, put it in your info, put it in your products, you know, just put it all around, right? And don't overstuff, don't do keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing basically means you only target just this 1 or 2 words and then you keep repeating it. No, you should go for multiple keywords, like what I showed you earlier for Sigma, right? Like I targeted, you know, not just web design, but you know, a number of things. You should go for a wider range. Don't overstuff on just a single keyword. Okay. And that is talking about this. Again, if you join my course, you see, I'm just, like what I mentioned earlier, folks, I'm just going to touch like the overall basics of everything. You know, I'm just going to quickly just go hop, 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 hop. But everything here, all of this, okay, if you want the shortcut, of course, you can go and do your own research. You can go and YouTube it. It's easy to learn. All right. But if you want the shortcut way, I can teach, I can get you up to speed in record time. If you join my course, okay, this is all the things and more that we will be going through. So much to learn, right? Okay, so let's get back here. Okay. So after the ads, we get the profile stuff. What do we get here? Okay, and this depends. Sometimes, okay, sometimes it's other things. Sometimes you even get product of boxes. Okay, you get like product boxes and you can scroll. It's different, all right? It depends on the search, the keyword search. Okay, but if you're wondering, how do I get here? Okay, how do I get to this thing here? This I got disconnected. Huh? Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I think it should be fine now. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so Let's talk about structured data, how to get here, and what this is all about. First of all, you should know that this, okay, all these things here are individual websites, all right? They actually link to individual websites. For example, let's do an example. Let's go to Google here, okay? And normally that Q&A thing, question and answer boxes thing appears whenever you type a question, right? Like, how do I do something? Okay, like let's try how do I feed? Oops. My cats, just for fun. Okay, it doesn't make sense to ask that, but just for fun. So you see, if I scroll down, you notice that, yeah, we get this because I just typed in a question. So that's like, you know, Q&A on this. And if I open this up, okay, you see, this is actually posted by a website, like any other website. Like your website could have this. If you did structured data, you could have this cool thing, right? And if I click on this link, then I will go to the website, right? Where, you know, I get the full information, okay? So let's talk about structured data for a bit and how to implement this, okay? Now, the first thing you should know is that there are 3 different terminologies that all mean the same thing, you know, so don't be confused. If someone says structured data, or if someone says schema.org, or they say rich result or rich snippet, then they are all talking about the same thing, okay? And I also don't want to give you the wrong impression that structured data is only about this Q&A. No, that is not true. Structured data is also all this. You see, if you ever did a search, like again, let's do a live one. Okay, I'll show you the screenshot a bit later, but let's do a live search here. Let's say I'm going to search something like nasi lemak recipe. Okay, for example, nasi lemak recipe. So why is it that, you see, some of these are organic ranking, yeah? These are not paid ads. But why are some of these accompanied with nice pictures? They've got nice pictures to go with it. Not only that, they've got ratings, they've got votes, right? It's rich snippet. If you scroll down, okay, you see that not everyone has it, right? Especially, I think, towards quite a number are having this rich snippet now. Nowadays, a lot of it is easy to install. It's a plugin, especially if you use WordPress or CMS. Okay, yeah, so quite a number. Like this one has rating, you know, and this one didn't implement rating, so they didn't get the star rating, right? Okay, so back here, that's what I'm talking about, right? It's about star ratings and all this. Okay, so if you're wondering, how do I test my website if the rich snippet is implemented properly or not? You can use this tester here. Okay, this is an online tester, right? You go to this site, okay, key in your URL here, okay, and you can see if your site supports rich snippet or not. Okay, that's one easy way to test. And let's talk about implementation. How do you do it? If you're interested to actually implement a rich snippet, okay, it depends on the technology of your website. It depends how your website was built. If you build your website using full stack custom, that means you are not on a CMS. You didn't use, you know, a backend CMS. Okay, then usually it's not included. Usually, rich snippet is not usually part of the. Okay, it's usually an add-on. So you have to talk to your developer, right? How much would it cost to implement this? However, for CMS sites, the solution is much simpler, right? If you're on a CMS, CMS means content management system. It's basically systems like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, Magento, OpenCart. These are all CMSs. Okay, so if you're using a CMS, basically a framework, then all you got to do is just install the plugin. Just go and search for, okay, rich result plugin. Remember, rich result is one of the terminology, right? You can actually use any of these 3 terminology. rich result, rich snippet plugin, structured data plugin, you get the same, okay, you get the same thing. And you just install the plugin and fill in some stuff. And okay, again, I'm just telling it to you here. You can go and try it out. But if you join my course, I will actually take you step by step, on making sure this is implemented correctly. What are the plugins that I recommend? And if something goes wrong, how to diagnose the problem and things like that. Okay, so let's talk about the complete list of structured data. Earlier, I just showed you a few things, but that is hardly the complete. I only showed you that you could have a picture, right? You know that you can have a picture. You know that you can have a star rating. And you also know that you can have question and answer, okay, drop down like this. However, let's take a look at the full list, okay? So we go here. Yeah, if you want to see what I'm seeing, you can just search this topic here. You just go to Google and you search explore rich result and you click the first link, okay? You'll get the same link. So I'm just going to copy this and paste here, and let's have a look. Okay, this is the complete list of all the features, right? So if you implement, okay, if you implement the feature called article, then it could show up like this. It could show up as top stories on the Google search. If you're selling books, right? If you're in the book business, I think nowadays book business are so dying, unfortunately, MPH, all that. But maybe ebooks, right? If you're into book business, okay, and you implement rich snippet, then you can have something like this, right, appear on the search engine. Okay, so let's just scroll through. Okay, and you can see all the things that are right: carousel, courses, data set, events, right? Check this out. You can have, if you're in the events management business, you can have this, right? With proper rich snippet implementation. FAQ, this was the one that we were talking about earlier. Okay, that's called FAQ. Home activities, how to, the list goes on. Podcast problems, products, Q&A, recipes. Okay, you can see there's a lot of options here, right? There's a lot of options here. Thankfully that because of CMS, implementation of this has become easier. It no longer takes, a very difficult amount of coding and things like that to get this done. It's not that hard. Okay, so I think that concludes my presentation on this part. Okay, we've talked about SERP in general, what makes up a search engine result page. Okay, so now you understand that, yeah, there's this part of it, which is dependent on structured data. Maybe I should explain, it's not important what I'm about to explain, totally not important, but just nice to know, okay, that structured data, okay, is the more official terminology, okay, to describe these things. This is the more official term. Schema.org is just basically the website to learn how to do this. Okay, if you want to know how to implement structured data, go to schema.org. This is an actual site, and you can learn the specifications there. Okay, schema.org is actually in charge of the structured data coding. All right, the markup. Okay, and what about this? Okay, so rich snippet is just basically Google's brand of structured data. You see, any search engine can adopt structured data and they can call it whatever their brand, whatever they want to brand it. Okay, so understand that rich snippet or rich result is simply a Google term. Like if you actually say the word, I want to implement rich snippet, understand that you are doing it is, for Google specifically, is a Google terminology, right? Whereas structured data is basically the more general term. Okay, anyway, all that totally not important, just good to know. Okay, so you see, there was a time, folks, there was a time, a glorious time many years ago, when organic rankers like me, okay, organic ranking websites, these are the organic ones, right? Not the paid organic, okay? They are here because Google decided their website is strong. They are here because of the strength of their SEO. They're on first page, okay? There was a glorious time in the past where this used to be right at the top, right? You remember those days? Okay. Even the ads weren't here, guys and girls. Okay. Even these ads, if you guys recall, these ads were at the sidebar, right? There was this, there was a side thing, and that all these ads were actually at the sidebar here. Okay. That was some time ago, right? And if you recall, there wasn't this back in those days. All right. This wasn't around. Rich snippets wasn't around. So for many years, organic ranking were the king. Organic rankers were getting the best deal of their lives, right? Straight away, organic ranking, click, okay? The ads were getting so less clicks because remember the ads were here, okay? So much so that, yeah, I think a lot of advertisers complain and things like that, like they're not getting the clicks, it's, not working out. And Google as a business, they want to make more money from ads. So now they move this here and they added all this other cool stuff. And guess what? Organic rankers have been pushed way down the line, okay? But despite that, okay, we took a hit, but it's still money. It's still good money on the first page ranking, right? First page, like I said, that's where it's at. Okay, that's the target goal. So now that you understand sort of, then there was a bit of history, right? A little bit of history even, okay, what went on. You see, search engine is always evolving. Every year, every few years, there'll be a big change, but every year itself, there are smaller changes, and we call those the Google algorithms, right? Google algorithms are the little codes that they sort of change here and there, and we try to understand. Okay? There are sometimes algorithms that change so much, it affects the ranking of some sites so drastically. Okay, that's how some people suddenly drop in rank and things like that. Okay, so let's go to, yeah, we're done with this part. Okay, let's move on to the next branch that I like to talk about. Why learn SEO? Why bother learning SEO? I think personally speaking, SEO as a subject is often misunderstood. I feel a lot of people try to make it sound very technical, like it's something about coding, it's something about meta tagging, it's something very technical. Actually, not so. It's becoming more and more accessible, if anything, more accessible to normal folk who can just pick it up and do it. Like web design even is becoming more accessible. Many years ago, if you needed a website, you have to hire a web designer, right? There's no other way. You can't DIY unless you want to learn coding. You hire a web designer, he builds the website. Today, if you want a website, you can easily just go with WordPress or go with Wix. There's so many options out there, very intelligent options, very easy to build, drag and drop options. You don't need to know programming, and you can totally get away with, managing a pretty good website, right? Of course, there are technical aspects, of course, okay? But what I'm trying to say is technology has become more and more accessible in terms of web design, in terms of graphic design, and also in terms of SEO. It's not something like many years ago, maybe yes. Many years ago, it was only in the realm of, programmers or search engine specialists and things like that. But today, not so. There's loads of tools that helps. You just got to know what you're doing. You just have to know where to look, what to click, and things, right? And the process flow. Okay, so why learn SEO? I would say that one of the biggest reasons why is if you want to have more business visibility, specifically online, we are talking online traffic, okay? Because SEO is search engine, right? It's only online traffic, okay? So if you want more business visibility, you want people to be able to find your stuff easier. Like they type in this keyword and you're right up there. You're right up there. And so they can see and click, right? You're not on, page 5, page 10, page 20, right? Yeah, or even page 2. You're in first page. First page is where we are targeting. I only care about first page, to be honest. Okay, so we talk about business visibility online. Remember leads, right? You're going to get the leads if you're on first page, and how you convert the leads, then that's up to you. You can throw prices. I mean, you can give giveaways, you can do coupons, you can give discounts. There's many ways to increase conversion rates, right? Now, secondly, okay, if you don't want to keep spending on ads, right? Of course, you can just pay Google ads and pay Google ads, and and you're paying for that top spot, okay? But if you're sick of that and you just want to be there for free, no more spending on ads. If you spend on ads, you get double. There's a lot of company that does that, by the way, especially I think iProperty does that. A lot of company does it, companies with big budgets, right? They are already on organic first ranking, and yet they will spend on AdWords to get a double entry, okay? So I think these are the two biggest reasons why you might want to learn SEO. Sometimes when I think about it, honestly, when I think about the power of SEO, you see, my entire business is dependent on SEO, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot begin to tell you how amazing it has been for me personally. If not for this, if not for my first page ranking, I would not be able to quit my job. I would still probably be, a hired, teacher under some college and things like that. I will not have the kind of freedom I have today. It's really about that first page ranking, okay? And keep in mind, I'm not contending with small weights. I'm not contending with lightweights. I am contending with other SEO experts who should know because I'm ranking top for SEO, right? Remember my top ranking, okay, is okay, if you go to Google, okay, and you type something like SEO training PJ, okay, if you're looking for an SEO trainer in PJ, I guess that's what you'll type, right? SEO training PJ or SEO courses PJ. I'm also first page on that, right? So I'm at the top here, okay, and I'm on the first page. You see, I'm given a double entry, okay, and I'm here as well. Okay, so I want you to consider the fact that these are all companies who know SEO. They are doing SEO, right? This is SEO keyword, right? This is ranking for, okay, SEO training PJ. Okay, and I managed to get here. So I can show you guys the way. I can show you even in a more, how to say, higher difficulty level. This is not easy difficulty level, mind you, okay, because SEO training, these guys know SEO. In a lot of situations, let me tell you, in a lot of you guys situations, it could be a sense that your competition are not even aware or not doing so much SEO, or their SEO is much weaker than what I had to face, right? And therefore, I believe you can totally crush, you can totally wipe out the competition if you wanted to. I'm assuming that it could be a lower intensity battle. It depends on the industry, yeah? It really depends. There are high difficulty industry. They do exist, okay? So anyway, why not to learn SEO? Let's answer the opposite question, okay? Just for the sake of challenge here, right? Why would you not want to learn SEO? Don't want to join my course, right? I would say that for a few reasons. I could think of a few reasons. Number one, you don't have a website. Yeah, I think SEO is not, if you don't have a website and you just want to learn, that's fine. But SEO is really for those who have access to a website, or you have something, about a website, or you have future plans to launch a website. Okay, if there's no website involved, then it's less useful. So website, right? Number one. Number two, if you have a website, but your website is terrible, then SEO is also not so useful for you. SEO may get you to the first page, okay, but the quality of your website, has to be of a certain level. If you join my course, I can help you get there. If you have a website that you feel, okay, you feel that the quality is lacking and there are things that could be improved, I believe I can really help you on that, because I am versed with UIX, graphic design even, so, okay, anyway, that's if you decide to join the course. And I think the third reason, right, the last reason why you may not want to learn SEO is if you think that your industry, the search traffic is very, very low. Like there's no one online searching for this particular keyword. We can actually do an analysis on that. There are tools that you can use to check the online traffic. And if your online traffic is so pathetic, like no one is looking out for this product that you're selling, then SEO is not worth it. You're going to catch flies, right? There's not enough traffic flowing for you to catch anything. You see, so for certain industries like that, where there's no online traffic, then you have to create the buzz. You have to get on social media and you have to actively, you have to advertise. It's a different ball game. It's a different strategy, right? For industries with very robust online traffic, then okay, you're good to go, right? So it's all about the traffic online, and we can test for that. Okay, so let's talk about, let's cut to the chase. Okay, you've heard me talk about SEO very vaguely, how to rank high, how to do this. I've just showed you the SERP, all right? You may be wondering, so what do I do? Okay, so let's cut to the chase. I'm actually going to give you a very general answer right here, okay, of what SEO really is about, okay? You see, I need to talk a bit about history. Let's talk about the beginning. In the beginning, it was simple, okay? Before Google search engine, before Yahoo, there was, Alta Vista, there was Netscape Navigator, old stuff, right? Bing is still around. And even before that, there's very ancient search engine, all kind of dead now. Google is the one taking over. Okay, so in the beginning, it was very simple. Search engines, they were very simple things. All they did, it was a directory. There wasn't very advanced things like what's happening now. Like, there's Google search bot detecting this, detecting that, all kinds of things they are detecting. Back then, if you wanted to be listed on Yahoo, you actually send in your, you actually go to one of these Yahoo page and you type in your website, okay, and you apply. You actually apply for your website to be listed on their directory. It was that old-fashioned. Okay, those were the days. It was simple. Okay, then Google came along. Then here comes Google with their amazing technologies. You have to understand what Google did for the search engine. It revolutionized. It changed everything. Today, all the other search engine, Yahoo included, all included, they basically copied the Google, what Google is detecting is basically, they have to copy the technology. Otherwise, they'll be out of fashion. They'll be so far behind, okay? And we'll talk about what Google detects for very soon, okay? So in summary, okay, I can say that search detection has become so complex. It detects quite a number of things, okay? To the point that it has become simple again. It came full circle. It became so complex that now I can summarize it in one word. In one word, I can tell you what SEO is. It's basically maintenance, guys and girls. It's basically site maintenance. If you maintain your website well, you tend to rank higher. If you maintain your website poorly, don't hope to rank. Don't hope to rank anywhere near the top 3, okay? So one word to explain SEO is maintenance. When you go and pay someone else, a company, to do SEO for your website, what you are really telling the company is, I don't have time to maintain this. Here is some money. Please maintain my website for me. It's really something like that. Although not many people understand this. I'm the only one saying it like this. I'm the only one telling it like this. But everyone else will tell you, oh, SEO is about tagging, it's about HTML, it's about the programming. No, no. It's across the board maintenance. Okay. So let's dissect. What do I mean by maintenance? What do we mean by this? Okay. We can break it down. We can break down maintenance into a couple of things. Okay. There is the on-page maintenance. All right. You have to do on-page. That means things that you can do on the website page itself, like make sure the site speed is fast loading. Make sure your tagging is correct. Make sure you do structured data. Make sure you perform the alt text for all the images, right? URL structure must be good, okay, with keywords, right? Then you've got off-page digital footprint. Then you've got off-site, okay? This is about the domain, the SSL, the hosting. Then you've got things like backlinking, okay? This is a whole topic for another day. And then you've got this thing called freshness score. This is so important. I would say that these three things are the backbone. If you want to know what is the real backbone of strong SEO, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm not saying the other things are not important. The other things are important. Okay. But the core, if your core is not strong, you know, it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat high competition level. If you talk about high competition level, everything has to be maximized. Everything has to score, you know, well. And then you've got this, okay? So this is the kind of things I will be really going into if you join my course. We will, everything, you know, I could zoom out here, guys. You see, I could zoom out here, okay? and you know what? This one thing, site speed alone, just this one site, I could expand into a whole thing and talk about it just on site. There's so many things you got to do for site speed. You know, it's not just one thing. Site speed is one of those complex things where it's a combination of many things put together, right? It's not one thing slowing down your site. It's more than one thing, okay? And so on and so forth. Each of these can be expanded into a whole thing on itself, and that's what we will be really getting into. For now, like I said, I want to give you a bird's eye view, okay, a general perspective view, okay? So, okay, and one of the reasons, if you're wondering, wow, how powerful is this? Google did all that. Google did all this. Yes, this is a Google system, guys. You have to understand that all this backlinking, okay, all this, and many of this were first introduced by Google. Make no mistake. Google introduced this to the world of search engine and it revolutionized everything. Remember that I mentioned in the beginning, everything was simple. Okay, remember I said in the beginning, everything was simple, right? Guess what? In the beginning, at the very beginning, it was only one thing. Want to guess what is it? At the very beginning, before Google came on the scene, search engine was only about this. That's why a lot of people still talk about meta tagging like it's super important today, because of the historical, you know, it's because of this historical linkage to the past. Because for many, many years, you know, search engine was about meta tagging. So if you did your meta tagging properly, you could rank high. But today, it's no longer the case. It's no longer the case. Okay, you can do perfect tagging. You can tag all you want. You can do all the keyword stuffing you want. You're not going to rank because, right, Google detects so many things. And that's because you have to know that here's a news article. Okay, ever since 2015, okay, since 2015, Google introduced its first AI into search engine, and it's called RankBrain. This is when, you know, things started to change rapidly, right? Before that, it was not using AI. Okay, before that, AI wasn't in. Okay, but ever since 2015, okay, AI was introduced by Google into its search engine capability, and this AI has been instrumental in figuring out all the things we said, all this. Okay, how did Google came up with all these systems? Okay, by and large, AI has decided that, you know, for example, site speed, right? Slow site speed is bad for users, it's bad for your search engine because it makes user frustrated. It makes a lot of people jump out of the page and makes people don't want to use your search engine Google. So the AI tells Google, make sure that your, you know, site speed is one of a priority. I'm just guessing, I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing AI figured out a lot of these things, okay? You know, and it's all about big data, right? That's how AI works. You feed it big data, you feed it millions and millions of results and things to analyze, and based on big data, it comes up with all these conclusions. You know, so it's always evolving, it's always improving, right? And we know AI improves exponentially. It doesn't improve on a linear perspective. It improves exponentially. Okay, so by the time I'm done with this, like, you know, this is what we know now. Okay, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're not going to be able to cheat the system. The only way to rank high on the first page is to really, okay, run a good show, to really make sure that this, okay, is top notch, right? And it's easy to say, but you know what? I've been telling this to so many people in all my years. It's easy to tell people, but it's so hard in practice, you know, to just say, right, do proper. How often, how many of you guys out there, you know, a website, like you launch a website and then you don't do much about it. You just leave it there. You don't, even if you update, it's like half-hearted update. You don't really put your heart into the updates. You know what I mean? Like you just update for the sake of it. That's an okay maintenance. It's not perfect, you know, but if you want to run a good show, right, what I mean is you cannot just abandon your site. You cannot just leave your site alone for too long. You must always be checking out diagnostic, you know, run diagnostics tool, do all kinds of things, right? Okay, and all that again, when you join my course, we will be talking about all the stuff that you should be doing, okay? So allow me to summarize it. I think I've gone a bit off time, but let's close it up here. Okay. In summary, guys and girls, all right. Search engine, as I have explained, is all about on page and off page. There are things that you have to do on the website itself, but understand that there are also things you have to do that is outside of the website that actually affects the SEO, believe it or not. You know, it's not on the page, but you do it outside and it has an impact on the ranking of your site. Okay. And Google's search algorithm has become so advanced and robust that the best action is to simply maintain an optimum site. If you can, this is easy to say, but what exactly to do, if you're wondering, well, join my course. We'll talk all about it, right? I'll run you through every single thing. Okay, in fact, if you join my course, it's pretty much project-based. I won't be talking like this. I will be actually showing you guys an example site, an example WordPress site, and all the things I'm going to do live on that site that you can actually see, okay? And you know, do it on your own site, right?